In the quiet corners of Des Moines, Iowa, where 50s rock still echoes in diners and AM radios, hum with country classics. A 63-year-old man named Richard Harrow sat in his dusty basement headphones on laptop open. He wasn't listening to Sinatra or Cash. No, he was producing hyperpop, a music genre so fast, so synthetic, so surreal that even his own grandchildren didn't quite understand what Grandpa was doing. His wife Marlene thought it was just noise, but Richard, once a Vietnam veteran, once a guitar-playing soul lost in the chaos of war, felt alive again. Hyperpop wasn't just music, it was rebellion, reinvention, resurrection, but no one, absolutely, no one in his world believed this was worth pursuing. "You're too old," his neighbor told him. "This music isn't for you." But in Richard's mind, this beat, chaotic, glitchy, and young, was his heartbeat. And at 63, it was racing. Richard wasn't always the hyperpop grandpa. Once he had dreams of being a producer. Back in the 70s, he played in a small local band, wrote jingles for ads, and even sent a demo to Capitol Records, never heard back. Life got in the way. Bills, responsibilities, children, and then cancer. Stage 2 prostate cancer had knocked him down in his 50s. He survived, but the battle changed him. He began rethinking everything. When his granddaughter introduced him to Sophie and 100 gecs, he didn't scoff. He listened, and something clicked. That synthetic chaos mirrored his life, full of breaks, distortions, and unexpected rhythms. He started making music, secretly downloaded. FL Studio, took online courses. He'd be up at 2 a.m., eyes bloodshot, layering bubblegum vocals over distorted bass. It was strange and beautiful. It made no sense to others, but to him it was therapy. Then came the day that changed everything. Richard uploaded a track to SoundCloud under the name Old Pop, a sarcastic nod to his age. He titled it Glitch My Soul. It was a wild, manic 2-minute ride, pitch, shifted vocals, break chord drums, an operatic sample of Bach. No one in his family knew he did it. He forgot about it, but 2 weeks later, a YouTube channel that reviewed weird underground sounds featured it. "Yo, this dude might be 20 or 80, but this is fire," the host said. Overnight, Richard's SoundCloud blew up. Thousands of plays, comments, memes, hyperpop. Grandpa trended on Twitter, some mocked, but many admired. "You're what I want to be at 61," teen wrote. Richard sat on his porch, phone in hand, tears welling up. For the first time in decades, people were listening, not out of pity, but because they felt something. But with the spotlight came judgment. Some in the hyperpop community called him a gimmick. Ageist trolls said he was ruining the genre. Even his family grew uneasy. "Why are you acting like a teenager?" his son asked. "You should be teaching piano, not pretending to be a TikTok star." The criticism hit hard. Richard doubted himself. He stopped producing. Months passed. The buzz died down. His laptop gathered dust. One night he sat in silence, recalling the war, the chemo, the near-death moments he'd survived, bullets and broken bones. Why was he scared of internet comments? That night, he turned on his DAW. The screen lit up. He opened a blank project. The first note was slow, but it built loud, brave, distorted. He titled the track, Unmute Me. Richard's wife, Marlene, had begun forgetting things. Alzheimer's, it started Small Key's birthdays. But soon, she didn't recognize their grandchildren. Richard tried to balance caregiving and music, but it crushed him. One day, she asked, "Who are you?" His world shattered. That night, he made a track titled White Noise of Her Mind. It was heartbreak in audio form. Delicate melodies crushed under bass, soft whispers hidden under chaos. When he released it, people cried. One comment read, "This sounds like losing someone in slow motion." The track went viral again, but this time not for its novelty, but for its soul. Hyperpop wasn't just noise anymore. It was memory. It was mourning. It was real. Even Marlene, hearing it, faintly smiled. "That's nice," she whispered. In less than a year, Richard was everywhere. NPR did a feature, the 64-year-old king of glitch Ellen invited him, and he played a live mashup that made the audience cheer and cry. Spotify created a playlist called Golden Age Hyperpop Labels, started calling. Then, in January, he received an email. Your track, White Noise of Her Mind, has been shortlisted for a Grammy nomination in experimental electronic. Richard laughed, cried, and called his granddaughter. I don't know what's happening, he whispered. Grandpa, she said you happened. You believed when nobody else did. That night, he walked into the basement and cried for the boy who never made it in the 70s. That boy had returned with wrinkles, wisdom, and a wild beat. Fame brought pressure. He was booked to perform live at a Hyperpop festival in Brooklyn. The youngest act was 17, the oldest, 21. He was 64. As he waited backstage, panic set in. What if they booed him? What if he fainted? Then he saw a sign. Hyperpop is for everyone. A girl in the crowd held up a placard. My grandpa died before I could say I loved him. You remind me of him. Richard walked on stage. The lights blazed. He played. The crowd screamed. Some cried. It wasn't perfect, but it was electric. It wasn't about being the best. It was about being honest, raw, fearless. He closed his set with a song titled Age Se Glitch. And for a moment, age truly vanished. Marlene passed away. A week later, peacefully, Richard went silent again. No social media, no music. The world moved on. Fans speculated, was he done? Had the hyperpop? Grandpa retired one day. A 45-minute track dropped on Bandcamp. No announcement, just the title. She's Everywhere. It was a journey from war to peace, from analog to digital, from youth to age. The track was downloaded over 1 million times. It wasn't just music, it was a eulogy, an autobiography, a time machine. The track played at Marlene's funeral. Richard didn't cry. He smiled. She's here, he whispered. She never left, inspired by Richard. Older musicians around the world began experimenting, a 72-year-old in Tokyo, a grandma in Atlanta, a Vietnam vet in Detroit. They weren't copying him, they were answering the same inner call. It's not too late. A new label launched, Silver Synths. Their motto, Age is a Frequency, Richard mentored young and old alike. His house became a studio, a safe space. A place where past and future blurred. He wasn't a gimmick anymore, he was a movement. Schools invited him to talk about ageism, reinvention, healing through art. Richard never called himself a legend. I'm just someone who didn't give up when the world told me to shut up. He said Richard's story isn't just about music. It's about courage and reinvention. No matter your age, your voice still matters. Your dreams don't expire. You've lived through love loss and everything in between. Now, let the world hear your story. Paint, sing, write, create, speak. The silence ends. Now. Press, play, make noise. Your beat is still alive and it could change the world.